Today's recipe is going to be this Swiss steak. This is another simple braised recipe, which we've done a million times on this channel. Here are the ingredients for a sachet. Just going to tie, as they're always done, tie up in cheesecloth and just have plenty of string on hand to make sure it's sunk. We did a quick puree because we didn't have any canned, but that's a good thing about having a blender. You can make your own if you have the tomatoes. There's the broth. Meat here, I'm planning on cutting it in half at the very least because get it a little thinner, smaller pieces. And the only real difference between this and what we've done normally is the meat is going to be dredged in flour first. So other than that, it's the same thing we've done in all of the other braised dishes I've done in the past. Also going to take a long while to cook because it's for about 2 hours of in the oven time. So I'm just going to get right to it just so that we're not waiting a long time for the finished product. Alright, really quickly going to show how dredging is set up. I know a long while ago I did a breading station. It's very similar. You just have one place for the wet, one place for the flour, one place for the dry once it's coated. Just get it in the flour as much as possible. You can, like for breading, it's also, you can flavor up the flour if you want, but not going to be doing that this time because we got the sachet and it's going to be cooking in this whole fancy thing. So yeah, it's really simple and good for long cooking meats because it coats it and that will delay the cooking time of a very slight amount and add to the flavor a bit too, so that's a good thing as well. Another difference in doing this recipe than other braised dishes we've done before. Past braised dishes have been going for blonde roux or lighter colored roux, and this one is a brown roux, so it would be darkening up your flour and oil mixture a bit more than normal. Not normally something you do because you normally want the lighter color roux for stews and stuff, but that's this one. And just gradually adding the stock as we go, slowly incorporating it all. Looking decent so far. At this point, we got everything in the brazier, for lack of a better term. Everything all mixed up. It's going into the oven at 300 for 2 hours, and that's where it'll be. Real quickly, we're going to also be serving some baked potatoes with the dish. Notice they're not wrapped in foil because otherwise they'd be steamed. And of course, no matter how you do them, you have to perforate them a bit, so which I've done already. More than a bit, actually. Better over than under. Also going to be, what you also do is coat with a bit of olive oil, so just put a dab on and rub it in nice. Getting these started now because oven's at about the right temperature for the long-term cooking, and then it's just keeping or just cooking them at that. And I've had a history cooking with this, doing baked potatoes with this oven, so just wanting to make sure that they either get done enough or something, because I don't know, something about it, just they either turn out not done enough or overdone. So aiming for the middle. Alright, next dish we're doing with this is going to be a bit of a steamed squash. Not really going to do a fancy one in the oven, partly because I'm lazy, partly because, well, mostly because I'm lazy, and I really don't mind breaking my rule of no microwave. So we cut off a big piece of squash there. What we then do next is put it in clean it out, put it in the bowl, put some water in the bowl for steaming, obviously. You have a big enough top to go over it, barely. Might need a deeper bowl. Then after about 10 minutes of that, spices and butter. Perfect that we have a bowl there, or a gourd. So I mixed up a bit of salt, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg. So, really good flavors to go with the squash, even though it's a really bit plain, or with just a bit of salt. So that's how we do it. And then after we add the spices, we finish it off for a bit more time in the steaming. And for the very last dish, we're going to do a bit of steamed spinach. Just going to be steaming it in the colander here over steam. Once I get that going, I've already stemmed and stem these as much as I can. It'll be very quick and instantly done, because everything else is almost done and want to serve everything together. And that should be it for the meal. Whew, that's a lot. And here's a finished meal. I got the squash there, looking good. The Swiss steak, really nice. The steamed spinach turned out really well. Very crisp still, and good. Potatoes are just finishing up, and that's about it. And so these are the Swiss steak with a whole bunch of sides. So